Here to support our advocacy network participants.
Hello, good
Good morning.
morning.
Great to see folks. Good morning. We'll give a minute. Thank you so much for joining. Today is our continuing series of meet and greet with our advocacy network participants. And just this is our fourth cohort. So we have three cohorts of alum, which has been incredible. And we are so grateful to the Children's Hospital community grant for this funding. So we are excited to have folks today. So I'm going to kick it off with our first question for all 930 callers. For each of you to tell us a little bit about you and how you came to be in your current role, and then we'll get to the Advocacy Network experience. So I think we'll go Amy, Anna Teresa, Erica, and then Danielle. So Amy, we'll start with you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so honored to be here. I am the director at Francis Jacobson Early Childhood Center at Temple Israel of Boston. We're an early childhood center that serves children aged 18 months to 5 years old. Um, and I've been working in the field of early childhood for 30 plus years in early intervention, early childhood education, childcare. Um, and I am so proud and honored to be a part of the Advocacy Network this year.
Give us a little bit more about what you did before you came.
Before
What
I came to the
yeah.
Advocacy Network?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
before you came to your current job.
Oh, I was a director, assistant director, and director at the JCC of Greater Boston, two of their early learning centers for 10 years. Prior to that, I actually worked here at the preschool where I'm director now as a sub when my children were in here. Took a few years off to be a parent. Fun fact, ran an animal shelter for 6 years when I lived in out of state.
Hey, see, Amy, now we didn't know that. Now we know that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anna Teresa.
Hi, my name is Ana Teresa. I'm a training coordinator for the Metro Boston PDC. Um, and I've been working in the field for about 18 years. I always count my wedding anniversary because that's when I started working in the field at
That's good
the same
reminder.
time. So that's how it's a good reminder. Um, but prior to becoming a training coordinator, I was a family child care coordinator for child development and education. Um, and prior to that, I worked as a preschool teacher, director, slash everything, because people know how centers are. Sometimes you're in one position, but then you're everywhere.
Right?
And yeah, I also teach Portuguese EC courses at Urban College. I see Alessia here. Hi, Alessia. And I see my friends from Metro Boston PDC. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
And Anna Teresa, what's a fun fact about the two of us?
We've been to the EEC board meeting. We've been, you were my professor, Ekman Sigeman, years ago. And that's when I don't know if you remember this, but that's when I started um, to have a positive view on advocacy
Yes.
because back in Brazil, politics and everything was,
Yes.
it was a turmoil and everything. It still is, but
Right.
you can, once you have a purpose and a meaning, you can see past that and you can be a, advocate. And here I am.
There you go. And it was a 5 course certificate program at Quinsigamond that you could take it, the courses for bachelor's or master's level, and then you could use that 5 classes to articulate to start the master's program at Worcester State. It really was an incredible a program. So it was, yes,
Yeah.
we're glad to have
Yep.
that
I
connection.
went to Worcester State and I got my degree.
That's
So
right. It was an example of like how higher ed was working together, and just incredible to see the cohorts of folks that did that. Thank
thank
you. Erica.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erica Maia. Thank you for having me. Um, I am an early childhood education coach with Neighborhood Villages, and I just passed my year anniversary. Um, I've been in the field for 13, almost 14 years, and I was a teacher for most of it. And the further I got into the field, the more interested I became in supporting teachers in growing and becoming their own um, a teacher that feels like their own self. Uh, and yeah, that's basically it. I fell into the field. I majored in psychology. I had um, plans to become a child psychologist, and I ended up in education and never looked back.
Well, I don't even know if we had this fun fact, but I was also a psychology major and early ed because I think understanding child psychology, child development is so central to working with young children. Thank you, Erica. Danielle, what about you?
So I have been in multiple roles in the field of early childhood education for more than 3 decades. I'm a mom, a grandmother, a leader, a writer, a community activist. I'm a small business owner. Currently, I own my business is called Cultivating Quality Early Childhood Consultation. And the main purpose is to help design, support, and elevate high quality experiences for children, families, and anyone providing for them.
Thanks. And Danielle, why don't we see Danielle just sent us an email at 9:28. You want to tell us about what happened then?
So I thought question 2 was going to be about what our project is
Well,
being
let's
part
go
of
to
this.
question 2 then, Danielle. Why don't we? Tell us a little bit about what you're working on in the Advocacy Network.
So I'm so grateful to be part of the Advocacy Network, and there are so many things that we can participate in and do to help support the field. And so what they asked us to choose a project, and my project was to create a blog. So some of the wonderful people on this call helped vet and send me back feedback on my first drafts, and it posted last night on LinkedIn. And the first topic is permission to touch. So asking children, do we remember to tell them before doing? And what I'm really focusing on is big ideas that can have lasting impact for lifelong. So something that is simple and relevant in infancy, but can still be relevant to your life even as adult. When we think about big ideas, they're things that we can study and use and implement even in infant classrooms, but then we know that they have lifelong impact on our life. So later, if you want to know more about that, I can explain more, but I don't
Great.
want to take too much time, but thank you.
So we've talked about balancing everyone's answers because we have 4 folks on the call. So as Danielle said, each Advocacy Network participant picks a topic, a project to further explore through this year-long experience. And I should have given that context. So the Advocacy Network runs for a year. We meet monthly. Titus and Jay Leese are the facilitators of that, mostly Jay Leese, who has kind of was with us in the beginning and now has joined our team part-time. And every month there's a different theme. There's guest speakers. We do spend some time doing Advocacy 101 and just learning about it. And then practicing speaking. So I think this month folks got to share out their project and really building this network, which we'll talk about in a minute. So anybody else want to tell us about the project that you're focused on for this cohort?
I can jump in.
Great.
My project is around engaging families and staff in advocacy work, getting involvement around it's simple as sending emails to legislatures and representatives, making sure everybody has access to the information they need to have in order to advocate for policy change and anything in our orbit that will support better access to quality early childhood care, education care for our families.
Great. Erica or Anna Teresa?
I can go. Oh, you want to go, Erica?
No, you're good.
I guess my project is to shine more light on family child care educators. I guess I did 2 things already. So I
Yes,
guess
tell us.
right. The overall is how wonderful family childcare is. The first project was to do the speech at the EEC board meeting. That
So
was
you offer public comment, yes?
Yes, I offered a public comment, and I was so nervous. But my comment was about the subsidy rates for family childcare and how that decrease in the rates affect the business management, the business
Mhm.
of the programs. And then the other project that I started was the in-person meeting with the FCC Portuguese speaking educators who are part of the support group that I started back in, I don't know when, many moons ago. It was just a Facebook page and a social media group. But now we got to be in person and just to celebrate each other. And I guess it's more of a mental health aspect
Sure.
of being an educator. So yeah, that's my project.
And I think that's a good example of you don't have to come up with a brand new idea. It could be something that you're already working on and then have a little bit maybe time and space to focus on it. As using kind of the advocacy network as an excuse or an opportunity. And Astrid and Anna Teresa took over our Instagram last week. What
Yeah.
Jay Lace. And so you can see more about it there. And then we do blog about each of the Advocacy Network participants. We're in different stages, so some have already been had their blogs, some are waiting to go. Erica, tell us about your project.
My project is focused on creating a safe space for teachers to learn how to advocate for themselves in the field and just advocate for themselves in general, whether it be in the workplace or personally. Um, the second part of this project is I hope to have teachers give interviews just to tell their stories. Because the lives of teachers are so rich and not enough of the world knows about the lives of teachers. So I want to spread that.
So, Erica, let's start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience in the Advocacy Network? About kind of the cohort, about the other folks, about kind of what you're learning. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
One of the main things I learned was how long things actually take to get to get passed. Um, but yeah, in all seriousness, I had no idea before I came to the advocacy group. I already had ideas of things that I would want to see change, whether it came to salaries, benefits, resources in general. Um, but I was like, why does it take so long? Like, are things ever going to change? But through the Advocacy 101, um, I learned, that there are many steps. Like from you know people speaking at the state house,
Yep,
passing a bill. Like even
yep.
if a bill is passed, it doesn't necessarily always become legislation or a law. And yeah, that was amazing information to know. And everyone's just been so supportive.
Can you give an example of that you've experienced?
um Supportive, the group
Yeah,
being supportive.
yeah,
Well, what comes up was I spent a month being super like sick and under the weather. And Jaylee's in all of her amazingness was so supportive, and was able to shift one-on-one times and all of that. And also, I have the pleasure of seeing a couple of the cohort members at my job. I had the pleasure of coaching at Horizons for Homeless Children, um, and um, it's just nice to see friendly faces
right,
who are in such deep support of you and your work, um, almost daily. Um,
right.
and I feel like I'll always be connected to this cohort. Yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Erica. Other folks about kind of how what you've learned and your experience with the network participants. Danielle, go ahead. Thanks.
So I think one of the things that I think is one of my most important strengths when I'm in the different roles that I've been in is building community. And the advocacy network has just become this addition to community and building community. And to kind of echo what Erica said, meeting familiar faces, seeing each other, now feeling like we just keep growing our community even larger. And I feel like that's also how we connect to the 9:30 call, right? Like this really came to be during the pandemic when we felt so disconnected from community, and this became our community, and it just keeps growing. So I feel like it's also motivated me. What I've learned is I'm so excited about this cohort that I've told about a dozen people I want them to apply for the next one. Like, you have to be in this. You have to do this. You have to try. I know it's going to become
Yeah,
more competitive as
that's
this
right.
spreads.
Titus added the information to chat, but yes, it's been, yeah, thank you for sharing that. How about
But
Amy and then Anna Teresa?
I just want to echo what Danielle said. I think this cohort is a remarkable community. I felt incredibly inspired and motivated, and supported and held up as well. And so much of the work that we all do daily in our jobs is about supporting relationship building. And I think we forget how much we need that outside of our programs. And, the 9:30 call has been a huge part of building community, but being a part of this network really helps to know that my avenue of work is important and just as important as everybody else's avenue of work. And together we have tremendous amount of strength through our connection.
Right, and you don't have to do it all, but and as you heard just on these four introductions about what their perspectives are, where they're coming from, where they sit kind of professionally day to day. So multiply that by we have 13 members of this lucky 13 of this cohort, and that I mean to see that kind of expertise come together as well as this kind of supportive spirit. And Teresa, what about you?
Yes, yes, I agree. Because before you're just thinking of your own like world and you don't really know how much goes on like outside of your program. But I guess with the network, I learned so much about other organizations, about other programs, and how everybody comes together for the benefit of the children. And that's what matters because, you know, those that it's the future, they need our support, they need our voices. So I guess it opened up like many doors and helped us understand like what's needed for children to succeed and go into school with a strong foundation.
And as I said, please keep the love and appreciation coming in the chat. Although you wouldn't know it now, everyone gets a little nervous as they think about their appearance on the 9:30 call. So I just want to acknowledge that, and everyone's doing great. We are also at the midpoint of the Advocacy Network experience. So in August, we'll have, which is the end of the cohort, we will have a reception for reflection, which we will invite everybody to, which is a kind of opportunity to celebrate the work, hear more about what people have explored and learned and just continue this incredible community. So, two questions, and you can pick which one you want to talk about. Can you share an aha moment that you were able to connect your work, your project with policy? And then, what advice would you have for folks who are interested in figuring out how to become an effective advocate? So, an aha moment, or what advice would you share with folks? Danielle.
So my aha moment was realizing that when Amy and Strategies for Children, whoever sends us those lovely like contact now, contact your elected officials, I didn't realize how important it was to then follow up with a personal message that they're not going to bother, they're not going to read mine. And that was a huge aha moment to realize that they do. And then if you do a send a personalized, like the mass one is important because they get numbers, but the
That's right.
personalized, when we've had different elected officials on this call say, oh, your personal message means something to me. They remember your name when it's personal. So I really encourage you to, take that initiative, even just a few sentences, and try to get to know your elected officials so that then we keep elevating and our desires for this community will stay at the forefront of their campaigning for us or advocating for us.
Thanks, Danielle. Amy?
My aha moment isn't one big one, but a series of repeatedly small aha moments, and that is how integrated the advocacy work is actually in my daily work life and daily life. It isn't separate from it. And there's just been continual aha moments when I'm either on an advocacy network Zoom or I'm doing something at work and these connecting points happen. I was like, oh, this is what we were talking about here, and this is what we were talking about here. It's all integrated and a part of the work we do every day. It's just elevating it and making our voices louder.
Yep. Anna Teresa or Erica? Erica?
My aha moment started at my previous place of employment where we formed a union. And it really spoke to the power of community and what happens when you bring your voices together. And that's what inspired me to apply for the advocacy network. And I continue to experience that when I just, you know, see people in such high support of each other, referring each other to people to support them, talk to them. Um, but yeah, it's yeah, the power of community was
Yeah,
really an aha moment for me.
great. And Anna Teresa.
For me, it's just the aha moment is seeing all these educators coming together and supporting each other. Just even though they don't really, some might say, oh, I don't speak English very well, or I'm afraid of this or that, but they're seeing that, just stepping up and talking about their work and what they do with the children, that's important. So I guess that's just like our friend said, collaboration and, working together.
Can you talk a little bit about this? I think the support around speaking, around being the expert that you are, all of you, like the content experts that you are, and that jump from like, okay, I might know what I'm talking about, but then how do I share this with others? And if I speak another language or English isn't my first language. And Teresa, can you talk a little bit about like how that experience has played out in the network?
I feel like it's coming from your true feelings of and how important you believe the field is, and language is shouldn't be a barrier because
Right.
we're talking about children and the best quality we can provide for them. So language is just it's just one part of our lives. And once you pass that fear and once you pass that anxiety of, okay, I need to talk in another language. No, it's for children, they don't see another language. They see you, the educator, they see your love and your passion. So I guess it's breaking that barrier, even though my English is not perfect, I can still advocate for the children. I can still show that I'm my program has high quality. I want to, succeed. I want to provide the best. I want families to come to me because this is a safe and, appropriate program, all of that. So,
And just recently, we had office hours, which has been another kind of tactic that we've been using to kind of continue to build this community in addition to the monthly meetings. And this was about kind of speaking a first language other than English and like how you can practice and think about presenting in public. So we had some of our former Advocacy Network folks come to talk about their own experiences. And I probably shouldn't break this news here, but we've been talking about a 9:30 call in Portuguese. Anna Teresa and Edna have been talking about that. And the 9:30 call in Espanol was part of Harold and Paula's advocacy network work. So I think it's also creating this community where we can talk about some of these things and have a safe place where people can share. Because I think that's what's been so important to me is you think about all these cohorts that have come. It's the place to be able to talk and get support from others. Okay, 2 minutes left in our 9:30 call world is plenty of time. But if you could talk to a policymaker right now, what would you want to make sure that policymaker knew? And I put the link in chat around Head Start, which we know right now is under attack. Today, the House budget is going to be released later today. We'll have a quick update tomorrow as the commissioner joins us. But what else would you want? What do you want legislators or policymakers to know?
That people are tired and burnt out. And um, so much so that it feels like we're hemorrhaging people from the field. So it feels like more of a desperate situation. That's what I would
Mhm.
want them to know.
Thanks, Erica.
Yeah.
I would want them to know that the workforce is struggling, families are struggling, and that there is no end to that until there is better and more comprehensive support through policy and funding changes.
Right?
I was, I would echo what Amy said, that we need this funding. We were having our moment during the pandemic of early childhood really shining as like how essential we are to everything. Because if we don't have high quality early childhood care, then parents can't go back to work and we can't support the economy. And it's bigger than Massachusetts. We know Massachusetts supports us. We need them to elevate up to our elected officials at the federal level because we need this work to happen. We need this to happen.
Thank you, Danielle. Teresa.
Yeah, we need more funding to support our educators, support the families, and appropriate, materials and furniture, everything that children need in order to have, a good, high quality program. And mental health,
Right.
the mental health, the burnt teachers are tired, teachers are being, burned out. So you need more support.
That we do. Erica, thank you also for kicking that off with such a very strong, simple message. We are tired, and like you can, like I could feel that in my bones. And I think that's another reason why the communities that have been created, like the 930 call, like the Advocacy Network, are so important. To give people who are doing the work, who are adjacent to the work, who care about the work, a place to be. We're so grateful for each of you and your participation in the Advocacy Network. We also continue to learn from you. It's been amazing to see this evolve, to kind of have this kind of an idea and see it play out in so many ways. We know that the alumni are like demanding in-person connection, so we do our best. And I think, as Erica said, like in your day-to-day world, that you're seeing people who are involved, and this is across the state. You see our new advocacy page on our updated website. Lots of love and appreciation in the chat. Please keep it coming as we wrap up. Thanks to each of you for joining, and we will hear from Commissioner Kershaw tomorrow. And so, if you have any, she's going to give an update from the board meeting that happened last week. But if you have any other topics, I'm sure we'll do a quick highlight about the budget recommendations. But we look forward. Please spread the word and tell people to come join us tomorrow. That it will be translated live with Excel Linguistics in Spanish and Portuguese. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Erica, Anna Teresa, Amy, and Danielle.
Thank you. Obrigada.
We'll see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Hashtag you did it. Yes, great. Take care.
And
I'll send you all the chat.